Episode 14, the impact of wokeness in the workplace. Welcome back to What's in It for Me. I'm your host, Jason, and today we're tackling a topic that's been stirring up a lot of discussions lately, wokeness in the work. What does it truly mean to be awoke in a professional setting? And how does this awareness of diversity, equity, and inclusion issues impact our work culture and productivity? Let's dive deep into this contemporary issue and explore its nuances. So what exactly is wokeness? Initially emerged as a term denoting a heightened awareness of social injustices, particularly those related to racial inequalities. It's about being conscious of systemic issues in the everyday experiences of marginalized groups. However, over time, the term has evolved, sometimes even taking on a negative connotation, criticized by some as an overemphasis on political correctness. The term woke has evolved to carry both positive and negative connotations, influencing the discourse around diversity goals and initiatives in complex ways. Positively, being woke initially signified a commendable awareness and understanding of social and racial injustices. It represented a conscious acknowledgement of systemic inequalities and a commitment to inclusivity, advocating for societal change and equality. This sense of awareness is crucial in driving diversity and inclusion efforts forward, encouraging proactive engagement with issues like racial discrimination, gender equality, and LGBTQ rights. However, the term has also taken on negative connotations, often used pejoratively to criticize what some perceive as excessive political correctness or to dismiss diversity initiatives as overzealous or superficial. In this context, woke can be wielded as a tool to undermine genuine efforts towards inclusivity, painting them as unnecessary or as an overreaction. This negative framing can create resistance against diversity programs, making it challenging to implement meaningful changes. It can also lead to a backlash where efforts to promote equity are met with skepticism or hostility under the assumption that they are rooted in being too woke rather than in addressing real and substantial issues. This dichotomy and the understanding of woke underscores the need for clear and empathetic communication around diversity goals. It highlights the importance of framing these initiatives in a manner that transcends buzzwords, focusing instead on their fundamental objectives to create fair, equitable, and inclusive environments for everyone. By doing so, it becomes possible to navigate the complexities surrounding wokeness and to continue making progress in diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. This evolution in meaning has sparked debates on its relevance and impact in the workplace. Let's explore these different facets and understand how wokeness fits into the modern professional environment. Segment 2, wokeness in workplace culture. In the context of the workplace, being awoke or aware isn't just about being politically correct. It's about understanding and valuing diversity, equity, and inclusion at a deeper level. This awareness can foster a workplace culture that embraces varied perspectives and experiences, which in turn can drive innovation, creativity, and problem solving. This dichotomy in the understanding of woke underscores the need for clear and empathetic communication around diversity goals. It highlights the importance of framing these initiatives in a manner that transcends buzzwords, focusing instead on their fundamental objectives to create fair, equitable, and inclusive environments for everyone. By doing so, it becomes possible to navigate the complexities surrounding wokeness and to continue making progress in diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Diverse teams cognizant of broader social dynamics have been shown to bring a rich tapestry of ideas, leading to more effective and creative solutions. It's not just about avoiding offense, it's about actively creating an environment where every employee feels valued and heard. Quote, How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. To put it in the words of Ibram X. Kendi, from his influential book, How to Be an Anti-Racist, the only way to undo racism is to consistently identify and describe it and then dismantle it. This powerful statement underscores the active role we all need to play in addressing not just racism, but all forms of bias in our workplaces. It's about moving beyond passive acknowledgement to active engagement and change. The profound insights of Ibram X. Kendi, particularly from his groundbreaking work, How to Be an Anti-Racist, Kendi illuminates a crucial truth. The path to eradicating racism lies in our ability to consistently recognize, articulate, and then actively dismantle it. This notion isn't just about understanding. It's a call to action. It challenges us to step up, moving from merely acknowledging the existence of racism and bias in our workplaces to engaging proactively in creating change. In his book, Kenny doesn't just stop at defining racism or its effects. He provides a blueprint for transformation. He emphasizes the need for self-awareness, the importance of understanding the history and context of racism, and most importantly, he offers strategies for becoming an active participant in the fight against racial injustice, to rallying cry for all of us to become agents of change in our environments. Bridges of Change, the story of TechSpark. Chapter 1, A New Dawn at TechSpark. TechSpark, a mid-sized tech firm in the heart of Silicon Valley, prided itself on innovation. Yet its director of HR, Maya, realized that the company's diversity and inclusion efforts were lagging far behind its technological advancements. Inspired by Ibram X. Kenya's How to Be an Anti-Racist, she decided it was time for a radical change. Chapter 2, The Awakening. Maya began by organizing a series of workshops based on Kendi's teachings. She invited all employees, from interns to the CEO, to participate in these enlightening sessions. The workshops were eye-opening, revealing hidden biases and systemic issues within TechSpark's own walls. For many, it was the first time they acknowledged the subtle yet pervasive nature of racism in the workplace. Conversations and reflections. The workshops led to the formation of discussion groups where employees shared personal experiences with racism and bias. These conversations, though sometimes uncomfortable, fostered a culture of openness and vulnerability. TechSpark CEO, Mr. Allen, who initially attended out of obligation, found himself deeply moved and motivated by these discussions. Chapter 4, From Within. Maya, with support from Mr. Allen, then initiated a comprehensive review of company policies. They discovered biases in their hiring practices and a significant pay gap affecting minority employees. Over the next few months, they implemented new policies that promoted equity, from blind recruitment processes to equitable pay structures. Allies in action. TechSpark also introduced an allyship program. Employees were trained on how to be active allies in the workplace, creating a supportive environment where racist behaviors or comments were no longer tolerated in silence. This shift led to a more inclusive and respectful work culture. Chapter 6, Continuous Evolution. TechSpark established a Diversity and Inclusion Council responsible for monitoring the workplace environment and ensuring that the company's commitment to anti-racism wasn't just a temporary initiative. They regularly sought feedback from employees, adapting their strategies to the evolving needs of their diverse work beyond the office walls. Finally, TechSpark extended its impact to the local community. They partnered with schools in underprivileged areas, offering internships and mentorship programs. Their efforts went beyond mere corporate social responsibility. They became an integral part of their identity. It's a ripple of change. The transformation at TechSpark didn't happen overnight. It took months of dedicated effort, difficult conversations, and a commitment to continuous learning and growth. But the ripple effect was undeniable. TechSpark not only became a leader in technology, but also a beacon of hope in the fight against racial injustice. The bridges of change they built within and beyond their walls inspired many other companies to embark on their own journeys of becoming truly anti-racist organizations. Balancing awareness and work responsibilities. But how do we balance this heightened awareness with our everyday work responsibilities? How do we ensure that our focus on social issues complements rather than competes with our professional duties? It's about integration rather than separation. This might mean fostering inclusive discussions in team meetings, ensuring diverse representation in decision-making processes, or even simple steps like revising company policies to be more inclusive. It's about making wokeness part of how we operate on a daily basis, enriching our work environment and relationships with colleagues. And here's a call to action for all of us. Let's find constructive and meaningful ways to engage with diversity, equity, and inclusion topics in our work life. Combating anti-wokeness, which often manifests as resistance to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, involves a strategic and empathetic approach. Here are several steps that can be taken. Foster open dialogue. Encourage open, respectful discussions about diversity and inclusion. Create safe spaces where employees can express their views and concerns. Listening and engaging in dialogue can help dispel misconceptions and build understanding. Educate and inform. Provide education on the importance and benefits of diversity and inclusion. This could include workshops, seminars, or training sessions that address not just the moral and ethical reasons for these initiatives, but also the tangible benefits such as increased innovation, better decision-making, and improved employee satisfaction. challenge misconceptions, address common myths and misconceptions about wokeness and diversity initiatives, clearly articulate how these initiatives aim to benefit all employees, not just specific groups, and how they contribute to the overall success of the organization. Encourage empathy by sharing diverse perspectives and experiences. Storytelling can be a powerful tool in helping people understand the challenges faced by others and the importance of an inclusive environment. Leadership should actively support diversity and inclusion effort. When leaders model inclusive behavior and demonstrate commitment to these values, it sets a tone for the entire organization. Invitation into organizational culture. Make diversity and inclusion a part of the organizational culture, not just a set of policies. This includes reviewing and adapting internal processes, from hiring practices to performance evaluations, to ensure they are equitable and inclusive. Combating anti-wokeness, which often manifests as resistance to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, involves a strategic and empathetic approach. Here are several steps that can be taken. Encourage open, respectful discussions about diversity and inclusion. Create safe spaces where employees can express their views and concerns. Listening and engaging in dialogue can help dispel misconceptions and build understanding. Provide education on the importance and benefits of diversity and inclusion. This could include workshops, seminars, or training sessions that address not just the moral and ethical reasons for these initiatives, but also the tangible benefits such as increased innovation, better decision-making, and improved employee satisfaction. Address common myths and misconceptions about wokeness and diversity initiatives. Clearly articulate how these initiatives aim to benefit all employees, not just specific groups, and how they contribute to the overall success of the organization. Encourage empathy by sharing diverse perspectives and experiences. Storytelling can be a powerful tool in helping people understand the challenges faced by others and the importance of an inclusive environment. Leadership should actively support diversity and inclusion efforts. When leaders model inclusive behavior and demonstrate commitment to these values, it sets a tone for the entire organization. Incorporate inclusivity into organizational culture. Make diversity and inclusion a part of the organizational culture, not just a set of policies. This includes reviewing and adapting internal processes, from hiring practices to performance evaluations, to ensure they are equitable and inclusive. Perhaps you can even initiate a book club focused on diversity literature, suggest EEI training for your team, or even just start conversations about these topics in your daily interactions. The goal here is to build a workplace culture that's not only aware, but actively supportive of DEI principles without compromising on our core professional responsibilities. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of What's in It for Me. It's been an enlightening discussion, and I hope it sparks some thoughts and ideas on how you can contribute to a more aware and inclusive workplace. Join me, Jason, next time as we continue to explore the dynamic world of diversity and inclusion in the professional sphere. See you in the next episode.